Uh, I have written a small code in using IEEE embedded workbench. So here is the code. The code says float. I have created a variable called as real number of type float, and then I have stored 3.1 or 5 into this variable, and let's see how the microcontroller stores this in its memory. And so I have just added a line uh, for the debugging purposes, so ASM no operations line. So if I click on this uh, if I click on this go button over here, if I click on this go button over here, uh, I it will the debugger will jump to this line and it stops. So now we can click on this button, which is the next statement, and it will increment the statements which are shown here one by one, execute them one by one. So the next line is float real number equals to 0. So the next statement that it will execute is this one. So this one, so it says VLDR S0, and this is some relative counter. I think it's the value that it is being stored in this number. So now clicking on it, the compiler jumps to the debugger jumps to the next statement, and here I have added some expressions to easily monitor the values that this variable gets. Okay, now let's again click on that button. Okay, so now it holds the value 00. You can see the real number variable holds the value 00. Now if I click on it again, so the now it has executed this line and moved on to stopped at this statement. And here we can see it is now executed that line VLDR S16 and this, and over if we look at here, the real number expression variable has a value of this, and since this is a floating point number, so the registers used is S16. S16, as you know, it is a floating point register, and if I right click on this and choose the number format from hexadecimal to default number, we will get our value, which is pretty close to our original number, because this when the system converts the floating point number into the IEEE 754, there is a rounding error that is being generated, and you can see it over here. It is being rounded off to this. Now this number, if I again go back to the hexadecimal, this number is stored at this S16 register. Okay, S16 register. Now if we copy this value. Okay, if we just copy this value and uh, and there is an tool which is at this location at schmidt.net float converter IEEE 754, and we'll paste the hexadecimal value onto this, and if we press enter, it shows us that the value it is stored is this. So, and all the bits that are assigned by this, so this is IEEE 754 format, and this is the value